Hey, I'm Meghann Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. Coming up in this week's show, the big interview is with Derek Ryan, country singer. First up, though, the top stories in Limerick. Leaving Cert results were out on Tuesday, and CAO offers followed, with the University of Limerick offering over 3,000 places, the most they've offered in their history. Also during the week, I went over to some secondary schools in Limerick to chat to some students and teachers about the Leaving Cert results. The Leaving Cert results for 2019 are out. We're going to catch up with some students in a little while. First though, we're going to chat to the principal of one of the secondary schools here in Limerick City to see what advice he's got for students. We're in Gaelcosh, the Limney, and I'm joined by the Preveds at Dominic. How are you getting on?
Very well, thank you very much, Meghann, and thank you for visiting us here today.
You have had an extremely busy morning with all your Leaving Cert students collecting their results. How did you get on?
The students are absolutely delighted with the results, and they achieved excellent standards and excellent results right across the board. An incredible number of students got 1 plus H1s in their exams, with one student getting straight 6 H1s, wow. And 2/3 of the students getting over 450 points, which is fantastic.
That is absolutely incredible. Like, that's amazing. But now we have to also maybe touch on the students that maybe don't get the points that they want. What advice would you have for those?
Well, there's an unprecedented level of choice open to students who may not be as happy as they thought they would be this morning. And the most important factor to take into account there is to take stock of what they've achieved so far, review the scripts that they completed last June, have a look over those papers to see where they may have lost marks, to see if there maybe could be grounds for an appeal, and then to consider other options. There's a multitude of pathways to the careers and vocations and lifestyles that students would like to maybe aspire to, and there's so many different ways they can achieve that in this day and age. The FE level, or sorry, the FE route, the PLC route are extremely well resourced and offer wonderful opportunities to students in terms of their future careers.
It's absolutely incredible. You must be so proud of all your students here.
Absolutely delighted, and it's sort of a morning of mixed emotions for me because it's my last morning handing out results, given the fact that I'm moving to a new role, and I wish the newly appointed principal, Kevin O'Reilly, and the team here at Gaelcosh the very best for the future.
Dominic, thank you so much for chatting to the Limerick Post.
And thanks again, Meghann, for visiting.
So we're here in Coláiste, the Nan O'Nagel, and I'm joined by Emma and Shannon, and it's Leaving Cert results day. Girl, how are you feeling?
A bit nervous. I'm nervous.
Now, the golden envelopes are in your hands, but you're not going to open them. What is the plan?
We were waiting to open them together.
Yeah, we're just waiting to open together, so after this we'll open them, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Are you going to go somewhere special to open it? Maybe a cup of tea, cup of coffee or anything?
Probably. Don't worry, jeans.
Oh, hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Good idea. How did you find the Leaving Cert this year?
It wasn't too stressful. Like, we had the support of our guidance counsellor and our teachers were behind us, so it's okay.
And can I ask, what is the kind of plan for September, do you think? Or are you going to wait until you open the results?
Well, hoping for acceptance college maybe we will, but like, who knows if we open our results. We're planning on teaching and science, then pharmacy, so all lies in the envelope.
I say your teachers must be very proud to think that you want to become teachers.
Definitely.
Well, girls, all I can say is good night to all live. I'll let you go now, open your results together, and I hope you're both very happy, and just remember what's fair, you won't pass you by.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Also this week we were out and about and we chatted to Dominic Taylor of the Limerick Writers Centre all about an event that's happening this weekend in Dolan's. I'm here with Dominic Taylor, one of the founding members of the Limerick Writers Centre. Now we're going to get to the work you do in a little while, but something we have to talk about is your event that's happening this weekend, the Limericks for Limerick. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, I'll bring our Limericks to Limerick competition. The final takes place in Dolan's upstairs on Saturday the 17th at 7:30. This is a competition that we've been running for the past 7 years. We first began it as part of The Gathering, if anybody remembers that, back in 2013. I was asked by Tim O'Connor, who was in charge of The Gathering, to expand a smaller event that we held every year just locally into an international event for The Gathering, which we did. And we held it out in UL in association with the Talton Nua Festival, which was also a gathering event. And it was a great success, and we published a book to coincide with it. We had people from America, we had people from New Zealand, Canada, everywhere, of course Ireland and Limerick as well. It was a great event. We decided to continue on with it. We incorporated into Limerick City of Culture, which was in 2014. That gave us another little bit of momentum. And since then, we've been continuing it on, and we're now based in Dolan's on the Dock Road. So it's been a great success, and people still continue to enter it. And our objective is to associate the verse with the place, which we feel has been neglected. There's a sort of an information deficit there when people come to Limerick. They ask about it, but no one seems to be able to direct them or show them or teach them about the Limerick and the origins of it, which we believe came from this location, you know.
And tell me about this year's competition. I know you got hundreds of entries. So did they come from all over the world?
They did, yeah. Well, all over the English-speaking world, let's put it that way. Although we have one finalist this year coming all the way from Copenhagen.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's a writer, and he has written in English. So his limerick was in English when he sent it to us. But it is quite a good one, and we included it in the final. So I'm looking forward to meeting him on Saturday night.
And tell me this now, so is it predominantly just writers and poets that enter, or is there just people of an interest?
No, everybody from all walks of life. It really is a people's poem. You know, anybody can write one, or they think they can anyway. But you know, anybody can write it. The rules are simple. You know, you get to get that swing and that lilt going with it, and. You know, if you can do that and be clever with it, a little bit of humour is important, very important, I would say, these days. In the older days, when it was first used by poets and bards, and that it was used as for mockery and satire. But humour is the thing that we concentrate on here.
Now, I've been doing my research, so it's the AABBA format, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called an anapestic rhythm, you know, meter, anapestic meter. So that's it. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da.
Okay, well, very interesting. As I said, I did do my research. Now, I know I've missed the deadline for 2019, but I did write a limerick for 2020. So if you wouldn't mind, I might read out for you now and you can let me know what you think.
Yeah.
You ready for this now? I spent a long time at this. We are here on Barrington Street. With Dominic Taylor, we did meet. So bring your limericks to Limerick this Saturday in Dolan's of the Mick. And €500 you win to get yourself a treat.
Hmm.
Do you want me to go again?
No,
Did you like that?
I got it, yeah. I wouldn't like the fifth line there where you say of the Mick, you know, it's a bit forced.
I was trying to see what could rhyme with a limerick, and I was thinking Mick
it's
Dolan.
It's a difficult one to do, and a lot of people have sent in limericks and they use everything to try to get limerick to rhyme, you know. Gimerick.
It's a really hard word.
Many times I've heard that, I've seen that come in, you know. So it is a difficult one, okay, I must admit. So I would have, if I was writing them now, I would be avoiding putting limerick at the end of a line.
Okay, yeah, I think that's where I went wrong. Maybe I'll just work on it now for next year, so...
Yeah, and the last line, again, it doesn't really clinch it, for me anyway. You know, it's a bit prosaic. There's no humour there, there's no punch.
Perfect. I have to say, I love your honesty.
You need a good last line to sum it all up. It's
Perfect.
a bit like a 3-act play, you know. You sort of have to have the clincher at the end.
Well, I suppose I have a year to work on it, so hopefully...
You have, yeah. And we do courses every so often, so you can come along to those.
I'd say I might have to come to a few courses. I have to say as well, the winner is winning €500, which is phenomenal.
That's right, yeah, €100 a line. Where else would you get it? No other poet is getting that kind of money.
It's absolutely incredible. And of course, do remind us, it's this Saturday in Dolan's.
In Dolan's, yeah, about 7:30, and it's free entry. So come along, you know, and bring a friend.
Now, finally, as I said, we did mention at the start, the Limerick Writers' Centre. Can you tell me about the work you do here as well, aside from the event that's happening this weekend?
Mm-hmm. Right, okay. Well, we've been going since 2008, right? We do lots of things, right? We have workshops on creative writing. We publish books. We've published 89 books in the past 10 years from many of them local authors and first-time authors. So that's one of our key things, is to give local authors an opportunity to see their work in print. That's one of them. We have our events, our reading events, where we invite lots of times international poets in to read and, read at our On the Nail event. And we have an open mic then for local people who want to come and express their own work. You know, so that's that. And we do 2 festivals. One of them, the Limericks, which we just discussed, and we have a month-long festival in April called April is Poetry Month.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So there's lots of things like that we do. Plus, you know, we're there to help along creativity in Limerick.
Have to say it's such a creative place. Dominic Taylor, thank you so much for chatting to the Limerick Post, and I will promise you I will work on my Limerick for next year.
Yeah. Okay, can I read one for for Dolan's?
You can.
This is one I wrote myself.
Here's one I made earlier.
Yeah, I did have it. Oh, yeah, here it is here. So this is for Dolan's, right? In Dolan's there's music galore. There's drink, merriment and more. You'll find talented players, perform pleasant airs and a céad míle fáilte at the door.
I have to say that is phenomenal. Definitely a lot better than mine.
Will I win my own money?
I think you should.
Okay, cut that out, will you?
Thanks again, Dominic. I hope you have a very successful night.
People say I fixed it. Or I'm trying to fix it.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We're here in Dolan's with Derek Ryan, where you're going to take to the stage in a couple of hours. Yes. You're saying it's your first time here?
First time here, obviously not in Limerick, but we played Limerick, actually Limerick County, but we've never really done a concert in Limerick City before, so looking forward to it. Yeah, first time in Dolan's, either drinking or just a night out, but it's the first time ever here, so I'm just having a good look around, looking forward to it.
Well, I'm sure you've heard so much about Dolan's because it's so famous for so many artists. Some people have come here over the years, so I guess it's probably a special moment for you as well.
Yeah, it is. I suppose there's a few, there's venues in Ireland that you hear of when you grow up, and Dolan's is one, the Olympia Theatre is another, there's certain venues all around the country, Monroe's in Galway, and there's places like that you hear about, so always great to get to iconic venues really, and as I say, we're just excited now to get going.
Now, before we get talking about the country music, that's not where you started out, because I'm going to go way back now to your traditional music days. I want to start there with a few All-Ireland medals. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we kind of, I suppose when we were growing up at home, my brother and my sister, I'm the youngest, so they were mad into trad music, and I wasn't so much starting off, I was more into sport and all that kind of thing, but Daddy bought me a Bowron one time, and then Katie drums. I ended up winning All-Irelands in both, actually. Then started with the guitar, then was around 12 or 13. Kind of taught myself. Now I'm still not amazing or anything, but taught myself how to play it, and started writing songs and all that. But yeah, so trad music was definitely the initial kind of love, I suppose. And I worked with Shannon actually a few years back, and that was like, she was like a goddess in our house, so that was a really, one of the highlights so far,
I have to say, I was at Willie Clancy for the first time this summer, and as you mentioned about sport, I went down the sporting route and not the music route, and after being there I was like, you know what, I think every kid should have to play sport, but should have to play an instrument, because it's incredible.
Yeah, I think so, at least try it anyway. I suppose everyone finds their way really, whatever, whether it be sport or whatever, like we would be big handballers as well at home and different things, and but no, music's brilliant, even if it's just a case of being sociable, it's great. We went to all the Flacchiols, and we went to music weeks, like the Willie Clancy week or whatever. We went to Tubbercurry, and we went different places, Milltown Malbay and all, so we would have going to those and saving up a few pound every week, and the whole Kyoto's group would go then, but I was probably too young to enjoy it too much, but the Flas were definitely great crack. Yeah.
They're absolutely super. Now then you went on to a pop career, and I have to say, you've got a super fan behind the camera right now.
Right.
He was singing one of your songs from Deeside earlier, and it turns out you visited his school back in the day in Waterford. So tell me about going into the pop career.
Yeah, well, that's a good few years ago now. Showing your age, must be. Yeah, we did a kind of a schools tour back in 2002, I'd say it was, for Deeside. But I just auditioned. I was gigging away with my brother, just doing social dancing and Irish and pubs and whatever here. But I was very young, up in for 12 to 16 I was doing that, and then saw an advert in the paper, and at the time Westlife were flying and Boyzone were flying and driving big cars, and I was going, I want a bit of that, but I wasn't the only one. There must have been 20 boy bands back then. We were lucky enough, out of all those, we were the only ones that got signed in the UK. Mm-hmm. So looking back, that was a bit of an achievement in itself, because we kind of missed the boat as the boy bands go. Ireland can only produce so many boy bands, that are going to be successful. So it was great. It was a great experience. We were on Top of the Pops and twice. We toured Japan, Germany, all the big arenas with Blue, the same agent as Blue, so pretty much every gig they did, we did as well. So that was great, an amazing experience, all the festivals in the UK.
And I was doing my research, and you guys actually were very popular in Japan. Like you're massive. You have a greatest hits album and everything. Like, so is it kind of mad to think that there's those countries that are like probably still listening to your album on repeat?
Yeah, and there's still people who would come to. Actually, we did the acoustic show that we're doing tonight. We did it in Dingle, in St James's Church. It was beautiful down there. But there was a girl from Japan at the gig. Yeah, and she came especially. She was visiting, say, Killarney, and she came especially to Dingle to. And she remembered me. She showed me photos of me and all the boys visiting her house. She won a competition. She was from Tokyo or somewhere, and so she showed me photos from like nearly 20 years ago. But so that was amazing. Like that, there's still people listening, and yeah, you never know. We might get back out there. You never know.
A reunion tour. But of course, now it's country music, which I have to say is absolutely massive in Ireland. And I think as well, what's so cool is that it's every age group. Everyone's into it now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like that's kind of, you could have any generation at concerts, especially and festivals, during the day or whatever. And there's people back learning how to jive and dance in local halls and lounges all around the country. So it's definitely back. But look, I mean, country was always big. Like when I was growing up, I used to go see Declan Ernie, Mick Flavin, all the guys, in their bands. But I suppose just because, the likes of Nathan Carter and Lisa McHugh and myself all kind of came out within the space of 2 or 3 years, that kind of, I suppose, brought back the whole, there's a young lad and he's singing country, there must be something to this. And then, all the girls are going to come out, and then when there's girls, the guys will go, and then the guys will learn how to dance, because I tell you, if a guy can dance in a dance hall in Ireland, he's a very good chance with a lot of girls.
I tell you, my mother always says to me, my mum is like, Meghann, you need to start going to these dances more often, because she goes, that's where all the single people are. And I'm like, okay, ma'am. I'm like, and it's become such a thing now. It's great. And I've seen on social media, as you said, my friends are going to dances and they're tagging each other, and then I'll go, like we went down to Liston one year, and it was absolutely one of the best nights I've had out.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Liston is like rocking. Yeah, it really is. And but look, that's I mean, it's sociable, and it's not all about. Not saying people go to nightclubs and they might not drink, but it's not all about drinking. You can go and you can dance, and you can get chatting to people very easily. Like I see it all the time. Guys who get chatting to girls a lot easier than in nightclubs. Because. Well, maybe it's changed since I was going out in nightclubs, but there was a gang of girls with around their handbags, and there was no getting in there. It was just thank God I could sing, because tried to sing, because otherwise I wouldn't get chatting to anyone.
I love that, the handbags, yeah, and then it's like the music's so loud anyways you can't hear each other.
You can't. So I haven't been in a nightclub in about 10 years. So
sure, look, you never know. Tonight could be the night after a gig. Now, do tell us, what is next for you after Dolan's?
Dolan's, we're heading then to a lot more festivals, coming up. We've one more acoustic gig. When I say acoustic, it's just kind of a stripped back show that we're doing tonight with 3 of us. And then I'm working on basically 3 or 4 new tracks, and I have a best of coming out for Christmas. So I kind of took a little bit of time off as regards recording and writing. I have been doing it all, but just not with the idea of an album. I do an album every year, but I have 10 albums now, so I think it's time to kind of get the best of them and add maybe 3 or 4 tracks to it, and then have a kind of a best of, as I say, and work then I'm going over to Nashville in November for 2 weeks, and I'm going to just write for the next album, if you know what I mean. So.
I hear some people talk about Nashville that I can't actually personally sing, but because of the music scene over there, I just want to go to Nashville.
Yeah, no, it is amazing. I mean, I love it there, and it's not just because it's Nashville. Because you're into country music, you love Nashville. It's like not that. Like I have been writing quite a few times and recorded an album out there, This Is Me, which was amazing. But then I just went on holidays this year. I went and I met all the kind of writers that I'd met and became friends with, and just didn't write at all, didn't do any work. And then I went to Vegas afterwards, and Vegas is such a downer after Nashville, because the quality of music and the nights out in Nashville is just, I recommend it to anybody. Yeah.
Well,
definitely.
You have it sold. Now finally I have to ask you, did you get the nice car in the end?
Yeah, no, I'm over that. I'm over the whole driving a nice car thing, I actually scraped the side of it there, so
no.
My car is not nice anymore. But you kind of go through a stage, I suppose, when you're in your 20s, and then you just kind of go, why would you waste money on buying a brand new car anymore?
Something practical that's good for the environment, at low tax.
Well, we do a lot of mileage, so a car, I always say it is something I do invest in, because you spend more time in the car than you do it in your house. So you need a good car. Like if you're on the back end of Scotland at 3 a.m. and you have to make the ferry at 6, you do not want to break down. So like you have to have a pretty new car, like otherwise you just couldn't do it.
Oh, Derek, thank you so much for chatting to Limerick Post. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No problem.
For these stories and so much more, head over to limerickpost.ie/show. I'm Meghann Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show, keeping Limerick posted.